Welcome back to Elite Quad HS online class, subject Business Studies, class 11. We are going to continue chapter 1, Nature and Purpose of Business. In our last class, we have discussed till the subdivisions of commerce, that is trade and auxiliaries to trade. Today we will continue from business risk. Business risk refers to the possibility of loss or inadequate profit due to uncertainties or unexpected events. Business risk may be classified into two categories, namely systematic risk and unsystematic risk. The risks which are not under the control of the business, or the risks which have to be borne by every business enterprise compulsorily, are called systematic risk. For example, risk due to change in demand, risk due to change in taste and preference of the customers, risk due to change in price, risk due to natural calamities, risk due to theft. These are all systematic risk. On the other hand, the risks which are under the control of the business, or the risk which may be avoided with the help of the effective and sound management system, are called unsystematic risk. Again, systematic risk can be classified into two groups. One is speculative risk, and the other is pure risk. The risk for which there is chance of either profit or loss are called speculative risk. For example, the risk of production of a new product is a speculative risk. In this case, if the customers like to buy the product, there will be a profit in the business. On the other hand, if the customers do not like to buy the product, there will be loss in the business. On the other hand, the risk for which there is chance of only loss without any possibility of profit is called pure risk. For example, risk due to natural calamities, or risk due to theft, or risk due to accident. These are all pure risks. The unsystematic risk may also be classified into two groups, such as operating risk and financial risk. The risk of changing the earning before interest and tax due to change in sale is called the operating risk. And on the other hand, the risk which is generated for the formation of the capital structure is called the financial risk. For example, if there is debt capital in the capital structure of a business, the business has to bear the risk of payment for interest. So the risk of using debt capital is a financial risk. In addition to the above classification of risk, there are more two types of risk, namely insurable risk and non-insurable risk. The insurable risk refers to those risks for which a businessman can insure to recover the probable losses. For example, risk due to fire, risk due to natural calamities, etc. These are all insurable risks. On the other hand, non-insurable risks are the risk which refers to those risks for which a businessman cannot insure to recover the probable losses. For example, risk due to change in demand, risk due to change in price, risk due to change in taste and preference of the customers, etc. These are all non-insurable risk. Now, the nature of business risk can be understood from the following features of risk. First, uncertainty. Business risk arise due to uncertainties. Uncertainties refer to unpredictable circumstances. For example, change in demand, change in government policy, natural calamities, etc. are uncertainties which create risk for business as their outcome cannot be known in advance. Secondly, no business can run without risk because every business has to bear some degree of risk. So, bearing of risk is the essential element of the business. Thirdly, the degree of risk of a business depends upon its nature and size. For example, the business dealing in perishable products, namely vegetable, fruits, fish, etc., is more risky as compared to that dealing in durable products, namely TV, motorcar, refrigerator, etc. Again, a large-scale business is more risky as compared to small-scale business. Fourthly, no risk, no gain is an age-old saying. This means that profit is not earned if risk is not taken. Generally, the more the degree of risk, the more is the amount of profit. So, the businessmen are engaged in business to earn profit as reward for taking risk. Fifthly, it is not possible for a businessman to measure accurately the degree of business risk. A businessman may participate some risk, but he cannot predict all the risk likely to arise in future. Lastly, the degree of risk varies with the change in time. For example, when there exists political instability, economic depression, communal riots, or natural calamity in the country, the business enterprises have to bear more risk. The causes of business risk may be classified as follows. Number 1, economic causes. Number 2, human causes. Number 3, natural causes. Number 4, physical causes. Number 5, political causes. And number 6, other causes. Firstly, economic causes refers to those causes which are concerned with the market conditions. These are change in demand, price fluctuation, activities of a competitor, and number of competitors. Demand for existing products decreases due to the change in taste and preference, fashion, and purchasing power of the customers. So every businessman has to bear the risk of decrease in demand of the goods available in his godown. Again, price fluctuation creates risk for business. As for example, if price of product decreases, there may be loss to the business. On the other hand, if price of the product increases, the demand for the product decreases. As a result of it, the amount of profit decreases due to decrease in the volume of sale. Next, activities of a competitor. Sometimes, some special activities of a competitive business, such as reduction in price, introduction of a new and better product, use of unattractable packages, etc., create risk for other businessmen, because if they fail to adopt the same technique, the volume of sale of the product decreases. Lastly, number of competitors. If number of competitors increase in the market, the volume of sale of each businessman decreases. So every businessman has to bear the risk of entering the new competitors in the market. The second cause of business risk is human cause. Human cause of business risk refer to those causes which are concerned with the ignorance, carelessness, dishonesty, impatience, and lack of intellect of human beings. These are careless and negligence. Negligence and careless of employees may cause serious fire or accident in the business, as a result of which there is chance of heavy loss of resources of the business. Secondly, dishonesty of employees. Dishonest activities of the employees, such as misappropriation of cash, theft of goods, forgery, etc., cause financial loss of the business. Third, it is not certain that all the dues from customers on account of credit sales must be released from them. A part of the credit sales may not be released due to dishonesty and insolvency of the customers. So every business had to bear the risk of bad debt. Lastly, strike and lockout. Sometimes there is dissatisfaction among the employees because of the decisions taken by the management. It causes strike and lockout which hamper production of the firm. The third cause of business risk is natural cause. Natural calamities are the natural causes of the business. Now it can be also classified in two categories, such as seasonal factors and geographical factors. Seasonal factors such as flood, snowstorm, cyclone, storm, etc. hamper the normal activities of the business. So every business has to bear the risk of likely losses caused by these factors. On the other hand, geographical factors such as earthquake is the most serious geographical factor which destroys almost everything, such as building, machinery, equipments, bridges, etc., together with the human lives. So all types of business enterprise have to bear the risk of earthquake. Fourth cause of business risk is physical cause. The causes which destroy assets of the business enterprises are regarded as physical cause, and the causes are change in technology and mechanical defects. The existing machines and equipments become obsolete due to change in technology. As a result of it, the money invested in those assets become a waste. Again, mechanical defects such as the bursting of the boiler, leakage of gas, etc., may lead to heavy loss of life and property. The fifth cause of business risk is political cause. The businessmen have to bear risk because of political causes also. And the political causes of business risk are political unsteadiness, means instability of government, fall in government, civil war, political disturbance, etc., create political unsteadiness. Such unsteadiness hinders the normal activities of business enterprise. Secondly, government policies. Change in government policies regarding licensing, taxation, import-export, etc., create risk for the business enterprises. For example, an increase in the corporate tax rate reduces profit margin of the business enterprise. Thirdly, government control. In many cases, government control on production and distribution of certain products deprive the businessman of earning sufficient profit. In addition to the above causes, there are some more causes of business risk, such as inefficient management. Inefficient management creates risk for the business enterprises. For example, the business enterprises have to bear the risk of defective planning. Secondly, use of debt capital. If a business uses debt capital, the business has to bear the risk of payment for a fixed amount of interest on the debt capital. That is to say, debt capital creates business risk. By this, we have come to the end of the chapter. In our next class, I am going to discuss the short answer type questions, that is SAQ. Meanwhile, your homework is to go through the chapter properly, and if you face any doubt, please write in the comment box given below.